In this lesson, we will learn about covalent compounds, how to name it, and how to write the formula. So, covalent compounds, what are they? Let's see. You all know that we exhale or breathe out carbon dioxide, right? And how was it named carbon dioxide? Also, you must have heard carbon monoxide, which is a deadly gas. We know the gas monitor in our building, correct? How was it named carbon monoxide? See the difference between the number of oxygen atom in the compound. A difference in one oxygen atom makes, see, one oxygen atom make a difference between life and death. Are these compound made of metal and a non-metal as we discussed in previously? In ionic compounds we discussed metal and non-metal form. Ionic compound, are they made of the similar way here? Actually no. Look in the periodic table and figure out whether carbon and oxygen are classified as metal or non-metal. They are on the right side of the periodic table. You can see that yes, they are non-metals, and we never use the prefix di or mono in our ionic compounds. Let us see the naming of covalent compounds. Okay, so covalent compounds are also known as molecular compound. Let me write that molecular compound for you. So here, that is also called molecular compounds. Okay, don't get confused by hearing covalent and both are same. Both are same. Okay, so let's see how to name it. That's okay. In the naming of covalent compounds, you should be familiar with the prefix. That is how actually the difference coming from, just by prefix. If it is one atom, we will put mono, but there is in mono usage there is a difference. For the first element, we will not use first element. In the compound, we are not going to use the mono, only for the second. Okay, but di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa, hepta, octa, nona, and deca, we will use both elements, first element as well as second element, first and second element. Okay, we will use all these prefixes, but only mono is different. Mono we will use only for second element. Let's see. So the first example here is N2S4. In the N2S4, you can see a subscript 2 here, subscript 4 here. Subscript 2 means we have to put di. If it is 4, we have to put tetra. So how to name that compound is di, and the name of this element is nitrogen, correct? And the name of this one is sulfur, but we cannot write sulfur, we have to end in IDE. So the name is going to be dinitrogen tetrasulfide. These are the prefixes. So from the name you can figure it out easily by looking at the prefix you are writing. So that is a covalent compound. And also nitrogen and sulfur are non-metals, so that is a covalent compound. Okay, so the next example is Ni3. So how many nitrogen are here? Only one. So if it is one, I don't have to write what? I don't have to write mono because it's a first element. And there are three here, so three means I have to put tri here. So what is the name going to be? Name the first element as such nitrogen, and the next one is triiodide, IDE. Okay, let's take another example, that is XeF6. Again, Xe only one here, so I don't have to write mono, I just write xenon. And how many fluorine are here? 6, so I have to put hexa here, and so the name will end in what? IDE, so the name will be xenon hexafluoride. Next example is CCl4. One carbon, so I don't have to write mono, so carbon, and there are four, that means I have to put tetra here before I write the name of the second element. So it will be carbon tetrachloride. Now one more, P2O5. There are two phosphorus, so I have to add the prefix di, so diphosphorus. How many oxygen? There are 5, so penta, right? So diphosphorus pentoxide. Only difference here is you have to pay attention. When there is penta oxide comes, what we will do, we will take off that A. Okay, that sounds better. So drop A, see that, and O before the oxide. Okay, that's how we are naming covalent compounds. And reverse you should practice. So one more example, sulfur, and there are 3 oxygen, so sulfur trioxide. So now reverse also you should practice. Say for example, if you have the name, you should know how to write. So let us take an example of SO2. I'm sorry, I should give you the name, sulfur dioxide. So sulfur, there is no prefix, so I will just S. Di means 2, and oxide means oxygen. So there are 2 oxygens, so I should write SO2. And now let me give you another example. Dinitrogen pentoxide. How to write that? Di means 2, nitrogen means N, pentoxide means 5, oxide means oxygen. So N2O5. See? So you should know both ways, writing and naming. We can practice more, and that's all about covalent compound naming and writing.